Hey everybody, welcome to another Tuesday night here on Northwoods TCG. Thank you guys everybody for joining in this evening. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful week considering we're already getting to the halfway point. So thank you everybody for joining in as we're getting started here this evening. Just to do a little bit of a recap, what's going on right now is that we will be going to Collecticon here. So next Tuesday I will be live. We are leaving Tuesday night, if not Wednesday morning, more than likely Wednesday morning. And we will be gone for over a week. So we're going to go down, visit some family down there, and then we're going to go to Collecticon, and then we're going to make our way back. So just so everybody knows, if you are going to Collecticon in North Carolina, please find me there. I will have on my Discord my... or hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on Discord. I will give a location too, so that way you guys can come check me out if you want to sit there and chat, talk, just meet. Absolutely fantastic if you'd like to do so. Greatly appreciated for everybody who would like to join in if you do make it down to North Carolina. So hopefully we get to see some of you guys there. It'd be nice to get out and actually do that, and then we will be at Chicago as well. So I will be at North Carolina and Chicago Collecticon. A little bit fun getting double this year. Really fun. Once again, thank you guys everybody for joining in. I see iFOMO in here as always. Thank you so much for joining in. Glad to have you in here. Jacob Henderson, thank you so much. Been missing the lives, bro. I'm sorry, but here tonight. Awesome. Thank you for joining once again. Greatly appreciated. Tonight we're going to be doing a little bit of a discussion. We're going to be talking about how you can still find success in the Pokemon TCG in July 2024. That's right, guys. It's hard to believe that we're already into the last half of 2024. It feels like the year just began. Things have been changing. Things have been continually moving as normal, but just good. I mean, we're seeing some really good things still happening in Pokemon TCG. We're seeing the ebbs and flows that we continually see, and I know that there's some people talking about how some products are falling, how some products are not doing as well. You know, even in the Sword and Shield side, we saw some really good gains on like the VMAXs, some of the alternate art Vs, and that had some really good gains, and then they kind of slowed down. And overall, we're really seeing some fun things happen with those continuing. Some of them are continuing up as we've expected. Other ones are kind of starting to fall like we kind of thought would happen as well. When you see them straight up spikes on a chart, it's typical correction. So the real question is how do you find success in the Pokemon hobby? So as of today, if you were going to just start into the Pokemon hobby, and I get this question a lot because there are a lot of new people coming in to the hobby still. It's kind of interesting. We're continuing to see new people move in. We're continuing to see growth. I'm continuing to see people that are just brand new. And that's great. That's great to actually see because that's good for the health and the overall success in the hobby. And basically what I would tell people right now is that there's one of two ways that you can be successful in this particular hobby currently. Number one way, probably the easiest way right now, is to just go pack shopping. And what I mean by that is start working your Walmart, start working your local stores. Try and find them products that have desirable packs in it, because let's be honest, Sword and Shield is getting harder and harder to find in your store. Finding cardboard sleeve blisters is pretty much non-existent at this point when it comes down to Sword and Shield. And you got to be looking for products that actually have particular things in it that people are desiring if you're trying to find that kind of success. So once again, going into specific tins, specific boxes, watching Costco, Sam's Clubs have some really good sales when it comes down to the overall options that you could have. Right now, Crown Zenith is at Costco at a really good value with that bonus tin in it. We have been seeing Pokemon 151 making a resurgence every now and then with those Zapdos and Alakazam boxes showing up as well. There are some really good opportunities in those to do rather well, and they're doing extremely well overall in the market. Even those boxes are selling fairly nicely. Overall, there's still the opportunity to really focus in and really get into those Sword and Shield products that people are forgetting, which is they're out there. It just takes a little bit of time, a little bit of research. It's a little bit more groundwork than what it was in the last 5 years. So a lot of people still hear about all this success in this hobby and how people have made thousands of dollars doing this. Well, realistically, it is still available. It's just not going to be free tendies anymore. That free tendies is out the window, and now we're to the point where you're going to have to work for it, which isn't always a bad thing. It really does make you appreciate the hobby a little bit more, in my opinion, when you have to actually do a little bit of research. Need to learn the hobby and really understand what people are looking for in this particular hobby. So once again, really some really good opportunities out there in different boxes, different things that continue to show up on like Walmart's and Target, Best Buy. They all have particular deals that keep showing up. One that I'm hoping shows up again are the 151 booster bundles. Those have been doing fantastic. As you can see, I got some right above me, right above my head, right there. So there's some right there. Those have been doing fantastic overall when it comes down to investment. Even the other one, comparatively, the 6-pack bundles have done very well overall. But I have been actually able to find some 151 booster bundles in stores. My Walmart just got some back, and I don't know if there was a reprint. I haven't heard of a reprint. I haven't seen anybody really announce a reprint of the 6-pack bundles for 151. So maybe it's a fluke and they're still coming through MJ Holding. And that's the thing is that sometimes it's just location when it comes down to the opportunities and success in this hobby. Because if you can pick up those booster bundles right now for $28, they're going for almost $45 right now on TCG Player. So, or you can open them up and take a chance at that Charizard. The Charizard's doing really well. There's some really good singles in that particular set that can hold up as well. So there's a lot of fun opportunities still in that 151 as well. If you can get the 6-pack bundles and you're into opening and actually trying to find those singles, definitely a bonus if you can get these 6-pack bundles rather than buying them on TCG Player or on eBay where they are about $45. So once again, it's all an opportunity in what you're trying to do. You really need to decide how you're doing things, what you're planning on doing, and how you're looking at being successful, or what you consider success. And that's the other bigger factor that I think I see a lot of times is that people don't really sit down and make a qualification for what is success. What are you seeing as success and being successful in the Pokemon TCG? Is it having a ton of sealed product and making a backlog and having a really lot of value in sealed product? Is it having the best collection that you can have? Is it buying PSA cards and flipping and being successful in the PSA cards? That's something that I have not seen a lot of people make that determination, and it's something that I think is missing a lot of times when they come into this hobby, especially for the new individuals in this hobby. I would always suggest figuring out what you want to do. Because there are so many different directions. There's so many lanes on this highway. There's so many different ways. And if you look at the Choose Your Path series, you can see that there are a varying lanes and different roads that you can take and pathways to what would be considered success in the hobby. And that's the bigger thing is that you need to find what works best for you and what you're actually looking at doing. Because I see a lot of people come in and they say, well, I just want to be successful. Well, in what? What's to be successful? What's your gauge? I mean, you need to have a gauge for being successful. You know, is it having $1 million in product in a year or two? I mean, is it having, that's just it. There's so many different variations. But for me, I'm going with the success right now in the investing in sealed or in packs. So I don't do a lot with talking about singles and PSA because, to be honest with you, it's kind of just something I do on the side. But I'm not as versed in it as I would like to be, so I really have a hard time sharing a lot of knowledge in it. I do give singles that I'm working on. I do give singles that I'm speculating on. But if you've noticed on this channel, I do have a big gap in the grading side of things. And there's the number one particular reason why I do that is because I don't see, to me, it's such an arbitrary thing that I just do not like grading all that much. I would rather work with singles and buy singles and sell singles. I would rather stay out of the grading side of the spectrum and just focus in on what's good for me and what works well for me. PSA is not definitely not something that I do much of just because of that. I do it. I do, flip and I do buy and sell on eBay, but it's just something I'm not comfortable with talking to people about and giving advice on just because to me it's still a lot of arbitrary chances and it's a big chance game. If you become comfortable with it, you can do well at it, but it's one of those things that you're almost going to have to take the shots yourself to become comfortable at it. But when we look at singles and we look at sealed right now and where you can be successful, Crown Zenith, once again, great little reprint right now. If you have a Costco membership, great opportunity to go buy those. I believe that they're $39.99. You can get an ETB of Crown Zenith, and you can also go and get a tin of the Miraidon or Koraidon 5-pack tins inside of there for like $40. Maybe it was $44.99. I think mine was $39.99. I was just gonna verify that beforehand, but I forgot to do so. But I was gonna head down to this weekend and pick some of them up. There's a whole pallet of them at my Costco here. And they're not selling very fast right now, guys. These products are not moving as fast as they used to. There's no reason that the second that you hear that they're available that you need to jump in the vehicle and fly to your local store as soon as possible. You have a little bit more time to really work the numbers and see if there is enough value in that particular product to do so and get in on that. There's definitely things to be looking at when it comes down to that factors. So it's kind of nice. It's not that high paced. It's not that I need to put out a lot of money and hope for the best. No research is necessary. Just get it as quick as you can and hopefully it does well Now we can sit back and play the road to success. We can take the keys to success, and we can really analyze things before we jump into something. You can make do some analytics on whether or not a graded card is a good opportunity to jump into it right now, or is it something to wait for? Is it good to jump into these singles now, or is it something that we should wait for? These are all things that we can take our time and really take into consideration and work through that to be successful in these particular areas in the Pokemon TCG, and it makes it more successful for you. And when you feel success, you feel more rejuvenated. You feel like you're doing the right things when you see value growing in your portfolios, when you're seeing value going up because you made good decisions. And it's really nice to be able to take the time to make those good decisions and be successful. So once again, great opportunities out there, guys. There's some really good things that are coming through, some really good opportunities pushing through. Sounds like there are some. So I haven't had much time to research it. I just saw it on Instagram here yesterday that there is a announcement for a Pokemon 151 reprint. So I don't know if that's true. If anybody in the chat knows for sure, please put it up there and verify or see, because I was going to go through the sources and check it out, look through my normals. I just honestly haven't had time to sit there and chase down all these sources, because to be honest with you, there's time. There's no reason to rush. If there has been a 151 reprint, hopefully it's those booster bundles, because them are a really great thing. They're great for, number one, selling. People really do enjoy them. Overall, really, really great opportunities in those if you can get a hold of them. And I feel that even if they get reprinted again, they're going to get chewed up again. People like the 6-pack bundles, especially in these holiday sets, and them holiday sets do have some really good value in the future with those 6-pack bundles. I think that they're really nice. I like the compact version of them. And once again, it's sometimes easier to sell a 6-pack bundle in the future when packs get up to $10, $15 a piece than it is to sell a booster box or an ETB, just because the 6-pack bundle has less junk in it, and it's just really compact and a really good price to purchase up front. And of course, when it comes down to it, you're buying just the packs. You don't have to worry about the extra junk that just takes up space. And compared to a booster box, when the booster boxes cross $500-$600, a booster bundle is still a good value for the average person that's looking for a particular set or wants to take a smaller chance at buying a product such as that. So I think that there's some really good value in them 6-pack bundles. And I see both sides of it. People do claim that they're not going to be that good just because they don't feel that they're a premier product, but I don't completely agree with that. Sometimes you got to look at what people can afford and what opportunities there are for these people, for people in the future. So when I'm going to sell something in the future, if I want to hold on to something for 20 years, I want to know that there's going to be someone to buy that on the end game, right? You don't want to be, success is not going to be gauged, if you're looking at the investment side, is not going to be gauged by how much value you have in 6 months a lot of times. A lot of times it's how much value it has in 5-10 years. And the other part of the success that you have to look at is, how am I going to get rid of this? How am I going to actually be able to sell these things in the future? I mean, what's more likely to sell, a 6-pack bundle or a booster box? An ETB, what's going to be the easiest value to sell? And what's the consumer more likely going to be able to afford when it comes down to these particular products? So lots of things going on. Definitely some good success right now looking for those Sword and Shield packs. I think that it's a fun hunt for me. I know some people are getting kind of testy about it. I've seen a lot of the hobby is starting to shift a little bit again, where they're getting really anti people buying tons of packs and getting into things and getting it's being interesting. It's really interesting to see how quickly things shift when all of a sudden Sword and Shield packs are going up in price, and people are buying them very quickly when they come out in the stores. And then all of a sudden we see YouTube channels and Instagram channels start bringing up scalping, and people are just ripping these things for the packs. And it's like, of course, but it's a fun hunt for me. I enjoy hunting down these packs. I enjoy going in, trying to find tins and going to visit different locations, trying to find particular tins and things with packs that I really want, like Evolving Skies. Chasing those Evolving Skies packs to me is a lot of fun. And let me know in the comments, or if you're watching this later or in the chat now, do you like the chase? I think it's a fun chase. If you're going to be going to the store, you know that the chances of pulling your chase card out of these particular packs isn't as easy. But to me, I've turned the chase into trying to find the packs that I want. I'm looking for Evolving Skies. It's a fun little chase to go to store, trying to find those particular packs. It's a really, really fun thing for me, and it's just a little bit of a stress, and it's less stressful for me to just go in and try and find those rather than trying to find singles and ripping packs. And it's fun. It's a fun, enjoyable thing. So overall, definitely some really good things in the success side of that. Sword and Shield packs definitely getting a more and more value to them. The one thing I will say when it comes down to the sales side of things is that it's really hit or miss right now. It seems like people are definitely getting a little bit tighter on money again. And I don't know if it's just because time of the year, people's tax returns are finally wearing out. It's summertime too. There's that ebb and flow. So anybody that's in the market for more than a year or two will understand that the summer months in the Northern Hemisphere always are a downer for sales because people are outside. They're outside doing things, and your success can really drop at that point in time in the Pokemon TCG. You can see the hobby kind of retract a little bit in the summer, and that's another thing. When I'm seeing channels talking about retraction, card value dropping, sealed product value dropping, all this stuff dropping in price, and when it comes down to that, let's be 100% honest, it's summer. I'm not even looking as hard as I used to because I'm busy. There's stuff to do outside. I've got gardening going on. I got farming going on. I've got work going on. I've got baseball, sports. I got night leagues. I've got all this stuff happening right now. And summers are always really packed. So I tend to, even myself, retract away from Pokemon a little bit and spend time with my family, friends, people outside. Because let's be honest, northern Wisconsin, winter's going to be here a lot faster than I want it to be. And when it gets here, I'm going to be stuck inside, which is the time where I can do videos and be online, and I can really push the Pokemon side. And there's people online buying and purchasing and being part of it. So once again, when it comes on to the success part of the side of the Pokemon TCG, be sure that you understand that there are ebbs and flows in the Pokemon TCG. Winter months tend to be better. Holidays, especially going into Black Friday to Christmas, big boom areas. And then, of course, you got that another big boom right around that February, March, and April, because tax returns come back and people are willing to spend a little bit extra money. And these are all kind of little success pockets that you can have. Summer definitely gets that ebb, and you get a little bit of a flow or a little bit of a slowdown that trickle down all through the summer, going in until the holiday months when we get closer to that September or October, November time period, where you'll start seeing that flow. You'll all of a sudden see a flow of product moving out. People are starting to come inside. People are starting to get later, it's starting to get darker earlier. And these start to always create more of a flow of product going out again. People are wanting that hobby and everything through there. And I wish I could figure out this camera, because I think I got it fixed and it does this. But once again, I will continue to talk right through it like I always do. So once again, definitely some successful things still available. Definitely some things that could really do well in the future. And definitely some things that we could see some really good opportunities. But there's definitely going to be that ebb where we're going to get this retraction like we're seeing currently in this market. Don't use that to gauge your success. I always say gauge your success year over year. If you're looking to grow and see value increasing and you're looking to see things go up in price and value, definitely watch year over year. So when you go and look at it, give yourself a year, see how well things go. Use that as your success gauge. Make sure that you sit there and watch, what happened from July last year to July this year, or going to January last year to January of this year. It's a lot easier to gauge month to month than it is to try and gauge 1 month to 1 month of the same year. It's just impossible because the markets change, the markets fluctuate, and things are always changing inside. There's ebbs and flows in the hobby currently. It's not just all crazy go. It's more slow moving, very, very, very driven towards being what's going on with the actual climate that you're in or the hemisphere you're in. So once again, take it with a grain of salt. Go year over year now. Make sure that you're really taking that part of it and being sure that you understand that there is going to be ebbs and flows. There's going to be successful periods where you're going to see a lot of money moving. People have money. People are willing to spend money. And then you're going to have points where people are going to retract and remove their focus to something else that may not even be in the hobby in general. It's the neat thing about being in a hobby is that sometimes people like it, some people don't, just because of the fact that, let's be 100% honest, sometimes people are in the hobby and they are 100% engaged in that hobby and really pushing it. But on the other fact is that sometimes they retract out of the hobby and they go do other things for a while. But Pokemon seems to be the one hobby that has the uncanny ability to continue to bring people back into it right now. They bring in a new exciting set. We've got Team Rocket coming back. I'm really excited for that set. We got Eevee 2.0. So right now, there's definitely going to be a holding of money. So Shrouded Fable and the next sets coming up are definitely going to be really interesting on how well they perform. I could see them being very slow. So if you're looking for success, I don't know if I would be jumping into the next two sets that heavy. Shrouded Fable, even myself, I'm buying enough to sell on TikTok from distributor. But I'm really not planning on holding much or putting much money into that particular set right off the bat. I am really starting to focus and save money and retract back for money to put into the Team Rocket set when it's here, Eevee 2.0. We got the Dragon set coming. We've got 3 really, really good sets coming up here in the near future. And that's really going to be big factors for how people are going to spend money too. So getting bogged down and stuck down and trying to gauge success on current Scarlet and Violet sets, such as Shrouded Fable, and the next set coming up, I'm drawing a blank on the next set, but there's another set that was just announced too. Well, it's the Japanese set that's going to be coming to English. So those are all going to be things that take into consideration. Maybe not bogging yourself down with these latest Scarlet and Violet sets because of that. Maybe look at going into the next sets, which is Team Rocket and EV 2.0, EV or Evolving Skies 2.0. EV Heroes 2.0, and then the Dragon sets. I think there's going to be some really good value in those. I think overall the market's going to be really hot for those. They are coming into that fall and winter months, which are going to be, of course, the best time for flow. That's when you're going to see a lot of money moving. A lot of people are at home willing to spend money. They're spending time on TikTok. They're spending time on eBay. They're spending time on YouTube. And that's when you see the flow, is when these people are in our homes and really, really pushing about and really trying to make things happen for their hobby at that point in time. And in the summertime, they start to die off. So once again, guys, thank you guys for everybody that's listening to my rant. When it comes down to, usually I do about a 20-minute rant, 25 minutes here at the beginning. That was kind of my rant for tonight, is just talking about how to be successful. Chasing Sword and Shield packs, definitely a big bonus. Working them singles right now. There's some really good value in singles as the summer months continue. We're starting to see some retract in prices, which means that there's some really good opportunity on some of the singles, even on those trainer gallery cards that we talked about earlier. They had some really good drive, and now they're kind of falling a little bit. It doesn't mean because they're falling that they're not going to have value. It just means that people kind of overshot like they always do with hype and FOMO. They're retracting, which may give you a good opportunity to jump into those singles. And overall, I just stay away personally from grading. I'm just not a big grading talker. I mean, there is opportunity in it. There are some very good channels that talk about how to find that opportunity and use that opportunity to their best advantages. I'm just not it. I do somewhat. It's probably the smallest part of my business now this year. And that's just because I'm just not, I don't feel grading any longer. I haven't felt grading. I've always felt it as an arbitrary deal. But you know, to each their own, and if they want to continue to chase it and go with it, that's fine. Everybody has that opportunity to do what's best for them and what they think will work best for them. So overall, if you're looking for grading, definitely not the best channel for that one, and I'll just right out admit that. I'll tell you when it's not something that I'm good at. Singles, sealed, definitely something that I'm watching. There's a lot of opportunities. Watching them down tracks on some of these higher end, you know, what I would call higher end, or some of these alternate arts and these trainer galleries are definitely doing some retraction. Good opportunity to possibly pop in on those and get the great grab while they're coming in that downward direction currently. So overall, guys, if you could real quick, make sure you guys hit that like button as you guys come on in. Greatly appreciated as we're starting out here. We usually go about an hour tonight, so I see a couple other people have joined in that I haven't seen before or haven't seen in a while, and it's glad to see you here. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the chat and just say hi to everybody that I see that's come in. iFOMO Jacob, I already said hi to you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. Snowgoon, thank you so much for joining in on another live. Great to see you here. The Galactic, thank you so much for dropping in as well. First time I think I've seen you in the live, but glad to see you here this evening. And then I'll go through the questions like I always do. Anybody questions that have come up. Jacob, I'll see you at North Carolina Collecticon with my buddy. Can't wait. Are you a... No, I am not at the celeb table. That I might stop by and say hi to some people there, but overall, I'm not at the celeb table currently. I'm not that big, to be 100% honest. I'm kind of a small channel. I'm a small fish out here in the sea. I enjoy what I do, and that's the fun thing about it. But hey, I'm going to go visit and go see some people that I know on YouTube, people I know are going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun when it comes down to that, being able to spend some time with that and meeting some people in person that I honestly have not met a lot of the people of my hobby in person, just because I'm so tucked up north that even the card shows and things that I go to, nobody really in this area goes to. So I really don't get to see very many people on the YouTube community, especially content creators that I've even had on here. I have not had an opportunity to meet them in person, so I'm really excited to finally meet quite a few of the individuals in person that I have not met yet, and actually get to introduce myself in person. It's going to be fun. I think that North Carolina CollectCon is going to be fun. Chicago sounds like it's going to be a blast too. Some other content creators that are not going to North Carolina are also going to Chicago, so I'll be having an opportunity to meet them as well. Snowgoon, what's good? Finally made it to another live stream. Yeah, so glad to see you here. Greatly appreciated. Once again, thank you so much for joining us, Snowgoon, and glad to see you in the lives. I know you used to be with me quite a bit, and then, of course, like I said, times change and things get busy, but glad to see you back in the streams for sure. iFOMO, Well, if the free attendees are gone, we need to start speculating. I'm sure dragons are undervalued right now, and what set is coming next? Yeah, exactly. There's some really good opportunities, those for sure. Definitely some really good opportunities with the Dragon set coming. Rayquaza, all that might see a bump. When you see new sets, Evolutions might see a bump as well. We might see, again, the more and more these sets continue to pop up, even Team Rocket EX might be an opportunity to where we got a new Team Rocket set. You got the original 2 Team Rockets. Potentially, you could see some value increases on the original ones. That's the cool thing is that sometimes when new sets come out for individuals that are not familiar with the hobby but enjoy the modern, sometimes they accidentally find the old stuff and they accidentally fall into the old cards and the old singles that we don't talk about much because we're all busy on modern and what's going on in modern. But they are out there. There's a Team Rocket EX, or Team Rocket Returns, their EX. There is a Team Rocket set from the past. Maybe some good opportunities to pick up some of them and take advantage of those while they're available. The Galactic, hey man, love watching your show. Can't always catch it live, but I try to catch up the videos later. Do you think the buy and hold model is really good for the long term? The buy and hold model is potentially good long term, and historically it has worked. You can't really say that it hasn't, but it just depends on how long you want to hold. I mean, realistically, I know there's a lot of channels that say, look, hold it for 5 years, you're going to make money. That's not always true. Not all sets gain value in 5 years. You can go back to even EX, Diamond and Pearl, those kind of sets, even Black and White. The value really wasn't there for a long period of time. They were keeping up with inflation. But that's not saying that the value is going up when a set's keeping up with inflation. Realistically, 2016 caused a little bit of a boom. A lot of sets got a little bit of a jump then. Black and White, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Diamond and Pearl all got a little bit of a boost at that point. But in realistic terms, 2020 was a really big factor for acceleration. So personally, do I hold a little bit of everything? Yes. I try and hold a little bit of everything because sometimes you just never know which set is going to pop off, which set is going to have success, and which set is going to do the best. Sometimes the sets you think are really great sets will be flops, and sometimes the ones you think will be flops will be really great sets. So sometimes buying a little bit and holding a little bit of everything will do well. Do I think some sets will do very well? Yes, Evolving Skies, for example. I think it'll be a very great set long-term. Lost Origins thinks it'll be a really great set long-term. Brilliant Stars, really great set long-term. I could see all 3 of them sets being very, 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 very strong even 5, 10, 15 years down the road and continue to gain value. Do I think that all sets in Sword and Shield are going to do that? No, I do not. I don't think that they're going to keep up with Evolving Skies, Silver Tempest, or Evolving Skies, Lost Origins, Brilliant Stars. I think that some are going to be like even Chilling Reign, Fusion Strike, and even Silver Tempest. I think they're going to have boosts. You're going to see really big jumps, and then you're going to see slowdowns. So you're going to see really big bumps, and you're going to see really big slowdowns. You're going to see even bigger jumps when it comes down to Evolving Skies, Brilliant Stars, and Lost Origins. That's just my feelings. So I am holding more of those sets than I am of any other set currently, just because some will do better than others. On average, do you think that all of them will go up in value on your portfolio? Yes, that's the point of building a portfolio. It's kind of like a stock. If you want to look at it that way, look at it like you would do. This is probably the only comparison that I can make to the stock market in Pokemon TCG, is that if you wide spectrum, go aggressive and get a little bit of everything, the chances are some may not move and some will go real high. And then you'll average out somewhere in the middle and you do really well. That's how you do your investment portfolio when it comes down to like your 401k or your Roth IRA, is that you invest into a ton, large spectrum, and the hopes are is that some do really well, some do mediocre, and in general you do well overall when it comes down to those products. So I think that that's exactly what we're going to continue to see when it comes down to even Pokemon products and Pokemon futuristically. Some are going to do great. Some are going to do mediocre. They're still going to keep up with inflation, slightly above it, whatever. Some of them are going to be gangbuster and be gone and have really, really high value. And in general, you're going to average out somewhere in the middle, which is good. You did really well if you average out in the middle. FOMO. Have you heard the news from Distro about SV English reprints? It has to happen sometime this year, right? I keep thinking so, but it's being very, very weird. Distro, I have not heard anything about reprints from Distro. The one thing I had heard was Pokemon 151, but I haven't seen anything from Distro, but I did hear that from individuals on Instagram and YouTube. I don't know if that's true, or on TikTok as well. I've heard it on 3 different platforms. Doesn't mean it's true. Some people are speculating. Maybe some people did like I did and found the booster bundles at Walmart and went, woohoo, yeah, we found something big. Wow, don't make fast movements. So I think that overall, there's some really good opportunities, to find these things, but I don't know. I would think this fall we would be seeing, some kind of reprint. We usually do in the fall. It's usually just a matter of time before they start kind of flooding the market when it comes down to the holiday season. You start seeing holiday promotions. You start seeing holiday packs. You start seeing, holiday this, holiday that. And then, of course, they do these reprints, and then reprints are used for those holiday packaging. And also they do release more of the standardized products as well, like ETBs, booster boxes, booster bundles, all that stuff may return again as well. So, yeah, I think that there's some really, really interesting opportunities. It's just weird. We're still not quite there yet. I mean, I would think the end of August we usually start hearing news. End of August, beginning of September, we usually start hearing news of that. So it'll be kind of interesting to see when we get to that point. So right now I'm kind of taking it with a grain of salt. It's just not. I'm not really too concerned yet. I'm not going to say reprints are out of the picture, but I am going to say that it might be a little bit early to say for sure. Let me see if I can switch this again. God, this camera just drives me crazy. Okay. There. I'll just switch to this camera. Why not? So yeah, I still think it's premature. Honestly, I think I would take some time, wait, and see where we're going to be when it comes down to the futuristically where we're going to be at in the hobby. I think that there's going to be some time yet to get those announcements, to see those things come forward. It's still early. Let's wait until the end of September and go with that. End of August, early September, typically we'll start hearing announcements. So we'll see what Distro has to say at that point in time. iFOMO, I think people are going to hold off on spending and saving for the next speculative set. We have some heavy hitters coming down. Exactly, that's what I was saying. I think that there's a lot of heavy hitters coming, guys. I'm not really going into Shrouded Fable all that heavy. It's just, to me, it's not worth it. I'll probably have a few ETBs, but and of course the Pokemon Center ETBs, I'll have a couple of those, but I'm really, really not putting a lot of money into that, and I'm really not planning on the next set all that heavy either. I'm really holding off for, Team Rocket, Eevee 2.0, Dragon 2.0, all of which are going to be the one sets that I'm really going to be focusing in on when it comes down to that. Snowgoon, what site do you guys use for information on new sets to be released? Typically I use PokeBeach or PokeGuardian. Both are really, really great sets for that. What's the other one? There's another one that comes up, and I can't remember off the top of my head, but basically those are the two I use first because they're really good at having a good source. And their sourcing is very accurate, so you don't have to worry about the sourcing not being correct on PokeData or PokeGuardian and PokeBeach. PokeBeach is probably the number one. PokeGuardian is just my second source. So those are the two that I use Snowgoon personally quite a bit, and they give me the best information when it comes down to what's going on in the Pokemon TCG. Kind of up to date, and it gives you a really good base when it comes down to that. Forgot about Shrouded Fable. Yeah, it's easy to do. It's personally, I don't know how well it's going to do. Some people are like, go, go, go. It's going to be a heavy set. And other people like me are just like, I just don't see it. I think that you got time. There's no rush on it. There's going to be plenty of product out there. I mean, I can still order it from distributor, no problem. There's plenty of easy product to get, so I'm not big and heavy into it. I think there's plenty of time. There's no point in sinking a lot of money into that when you got plenty of other things going on. Hey, Aaron, thank you so much for joining, as always. And Tristan, thank you so much as well. Hey, smash that like button. Yes, please do. So there's still a few people out there. Make sure you guys hit that like button as you guys come in. Hey, Pika Pika, thank you so much. And then we got the Hope for Better is here, and Tom B. Thank you both for joining in as well. Pika Pika, glad to see you in here. How are you doing, my friend? Hopefully you've had a good week so far. The Galactic. We got, do you think they're going to overprint the Team Rocket set and the EV 2.0 set? Probably. More than likely they're going to reprint it, but there again, we thought that they were going to overprint 151, and we thought they were going to overprint Evolving Skies, and they couldn't print enough. Honestly, they just couldn't. There was not enough printer space in the world to keep up with Evolving Skies. I feel like they could have done another full reprint release on that, and it would have affected the market for 6 months, and it would have gone right back up. Not up to $700. I think you would have been around $400. But still, I think you would have seen a drop at first. You'd go down into the hundreds again, and it would take literally 6 months to a year, and you'd probably be pushing that $400 range again on that set. It's just really popular sets don't matter. It really doesn't matter if they're popular, they have a chase, they got something people want. If people are excited about it, it will continually go back up in price. Evolving Skies is a perfect example. We said several times that it was going to be overprinted. A lot of people did say it was going to be overprinted, that they're going to print it to death, and they just never could. No matter how many reprints they did, it would go down a little bit and it'd just fly right back up. It never seemed to slow that set down. And that does happen. Some sets are just that popular. Could that happen with the new Team Rocket set? Absolutely. Could be very popular. Could be to the point where you can't print it. It just means more people will open it because it's more fun to open. And when more people open it because it's fun to open and they're chasing and it's a cool Team Rocket set, it gets burned up faster. So, yeah, it's kind of one of those things. It really depends on how much sells and, the popularity of the set. Sometimes the popularity can definitely just drive through reprints. Tristan, what's your favorite set to pick up right now? Lost Origins and Evolving Skies. I still try and find up Evolving Skies packs wherever I can do it, and I always try to find Lost Origins products. So I bought $35 ETBs of Lost Origins the other day at Walmart. So I'm still finding some really good value on Lost Origins and some really good opportunities in those sets. But those are really the two. Brilliant Stars is another one. If I find ETBs at Walmart for $35, I'm picking them up. So Evolving Skies packs, Evolving Skies ETBs, Brilliant Stars, definitely one I'm chasing, and Lost Origins. Silver Tempest still some really good value, some really good pricing out there for Silver Tempest as well. If you're looking for some really decent Sword and Shield set with a good value, that's definitely one that I'm looking at as well. Hey Mason, how you doing? Glad to see you in here tonight. It's been a few weeks. Hopefully you're doing well. FOMO, more attendees for Northwoods being up north. Yeah, exactly. Less people hunting. Aaron Scott, haven't been buying or opening since the new generation. Just not for me. I had to throttle back. And some people did. I mean, let's be 100% honest. Some people do enjoy Sword and Shield. Some people do enjoy Scarlet and Violet. Some people enjoy Sun and Moon. They don't always transfer into each one. The hopes are is that a new generation brings in new people, and that's how the hobby will continue to grow. Eventually, Aaron, some things may grow on you. You may see something that's interesting or really exciting, and you will definitely start opening it because you do enjoy it. Maybe Team Rocket set will be the one for you, and you'll start moving into it. Maybe it's going to be the EV 2.0. Who knows? There's always something that eventually maybe draws in some of the older people into it. And when that happens, then we see some really good growth in that particular area of the hobby again. So definitely plenty of opportunity. I'm not too concerned about the older people because I know there's a lot of people still sitting back in Sword and Shield. And when the pricing does continue to go up on Sword and Shield, we definitely may see more people moving into Scarlet and Violet as well. I mean, you can still find some of it pretty readily and easily. So that's a really big factor, too, to why people haven't really pushed into Scarlet and Violet. The pricing just is still there in Sword and Shield, and I personally like Sword and Shield better, too. I open a lot more Sword and Shield, and I do a lot more with Sword and Shield than I do with Scarlet and Violet. I just enjoy the sets better. I think that the alternate arts are more of a chase, and I think for me it is more of a chase. To me, it's a chase that I enjoy, and Scarlet and Violet really hasn't given me the chase feeling like we have in Sword and Shield. Now, the newer sets, we are. Twilight Masquerade, you got the Greninja EX chase. You do have the, finally, SARs that have some harder pull rates. That makes it a chase, and it makes it a little bit more fun to open those sets. Let's see. FOMO, I went back to XY. I have too. I've been pulling some EX cards, definitely purchasing some more of those. Trying to see, because I just got another shipment in here the other day, and I think I probably got a couple EXs. So, yeah, of course, I got the, just like this. I mean, I'm still picking up, like, the Mew EX, and one of them. Mewtwo EX. This is another thing I'm having a lot of fun buying. Are these promo cards, and this one I picked up for 20. Thought it was really nice. The Umbreon cards, definitely another thing that I've been really pushing into are the EX cards. I'm trying to get more and more of those. So, you know, just like this, I'm just going through my latest shipment. You got that Gardevoir EX. You know, once again, buying EX cards. I think EX cards and the older versions are definitely got some value. Another one. Once again, I've talked about the stamp promos or stamp energies. I really do like them. I think there's some really good value. This one here is from Holland Phantoms. Another really nice one. These are just collection fillers. These are the other ones I've been having fun with too. Is Ditto cards. The guy just picked up this Charmander Ditto card and then the Pikachu Ditto card. Thought that they were really cool. And then Squirtle card. So Squirtle reverse from Crystal Guardians. So I'm kind of spreading out, going into the older stuff a little bit more. So, like I said, kind of spreading a little bit, having a little bit more fun, going after those older things. Some of the things that I think will have some potential value futuristically. EX cards, like I've almost said, going back XY. I'm even going back further than that. I'm going all the way back, even into the original EXs, going back into lowercase EX era, which is a little bit more fun. I do enjoy it. I think there's some really good value in those particular cards. Let's see. Did you see the new trailer for Pokemon AZ? They featured the new evolutions in it. I did, and I'm kind of curious to see when we will see those in the cards. That's going to be really interesting to see when we get those in the card form. So I'm excited. I think that there's some really good opportunity for it, but we'll see when that gets incorporated into the actual TCG, not just the game. Mason asked the question, where are all the booster boxes? I have no idea, Mason. That's what we were just talking about probably right before you came in, was the fact that we don't even have, I haven't heard anything about reprints. Have you, Mason? Just out of curiosity. I have not heard anything on reprints right now, even from my, from any of the distributors. So ACD or from Southern Hobby. I got nothing. I haven't seen any booster box reprints or anything coming up about ordering for booster box reprints. So I don't know. I don't know where they're at. I don't know where reprints are in general right now. I would have thought we would have been seeing some of those ones come back. There's nothing. That's what I asked the rep, or asked the rep, and he said no. They didn't. They have heard nothing. So once again, though, we might be early. You know, like I said, we are getting closer to the holiday season. I think people are getting antsy to see what's going to be reprinted. I think that's a big question. But yes, I have not heard anything. Nothing's coming that they know of. I'm hoping by the end of August we might hear something, because for the holiday season, usually end of August into September is when we usually get all the announcements for specialty boxes. There is a new Charizard EX collection box that just got dropped. That I can get from the distributors. I'm sure Mason's probably got access to that as well. But other than that, I haven't really heard anything coming for the holiday specials yet. And we should be getting them here any day now. I'm actually surprised there isn't more announcements on that. So it's kind of interesting. I don't know what Pokemon's doing. I don't know if they're so focused on... Currently, if they're focused on that Japanese-Chinese market, that they're just kind of letting things slide in the English market. I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I know that there's lots of Scarlet and Violet like singles and like boxes. You know, the EX boxes are all over the place. The cart or the sleeve blisters are all over the place. But in general, there isn't very much like booster boxes or ETBs. Even in my Walmarts and that, there really are no ETBs for Scarlet and Violet products either. They're all gone. They're just sold out. So I'm sure some areas might be different. Some things might be different, you know, and depending on where you're at. But yeah, just not interesting. It's interesting, but I'm hoping we hear something by the end of August. We should know a direction by then, I would think. Historically, end of August, beginning of September, we usually hear that kind of stuff. But we should be getting pre-order stuff here in August for October, November for sure. Let's see. Pika Pika 151 is still available at retail stores, just not at a good price. No. Like I said, I can get the Zapdos Alakazam boxes came back. I found some 6-pack bundles the other day. I did find a couple ETBs of 151 at the store, which it was only like 2. It wasn't a huge amount, so they are definitely still showing up, and they are still available. Yeah, I just saw, sorry, the Hope for Better. We were talking about that just a little bit ago, that I heard that too, that 151 is being reprinted, but I have not, they did not say anything from from my distributor yet. So once again, I'm not getting anything for ordering any, not getting any information. I know I'm low man on a totem pole when it comes down to that, but I have not gotten any. I cannot verify that currently. I got to get a hold of my rep and find out if 151 is getting a reprint. I just saw that yesterday come through on Instagram, on YouTube, and also on TikToks, and people were claiming 151 reprint, English reprint. I haven't seen it yet, personally, and I haven't heard anything of it. So someone might be getting early information, but it just hasn't. I haven't seen it myself. They need to revive Pogo with a... Oh, God. Please no, iFOMO. Don't give him any ideas. iFOMO, the secret, the Muse secret rare from Celebrations is... Really? Celebrations, some cards have been sneaking up, though. So, and partially I'm not surprised, but on the other hand, it's really interesting that card keeps sneaking up. So, but no Pogo. Hey, Pokey Chef, thank you so much for joining. Glad to see you, and I hope to see you here in a couple weeks as well. We're getting closer. We're getting closer to North Carolina. I'm getting antsy. I'm ready to go right now if I could. Definitely ready to get out there. iFOMO. I have the other Mewtwo. It's a good one to have. Let's see. Man, you gave me a sourcing itch. Let's see. Mason Berry. Yeah, nothing coming. I'm just going through all the questions. Mason. Where's my Pokies at? They're missing. The Pokies are MIA right now. iFOMO, for all we know, they are currently printing the Dragon, Eevee, Rocket return sets to the ground. Yep, just burn. As long as the printer goes burr, that's all they care about. So that could be it. Maybe they're focusing on the newer sets. That definitely could be an option and where they're at. Like I said, it's just hard to say. I mean, all of a sudden we'll just get blasted with a bunch of products. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes. Got down all the way to the bottom here. We got 1407 Dav. Thank you so much for dropping in to the live. Which Scarlet and Violet set do you consider the best? That's a tough one. Kind of go back and forth. I do like Paldea Evolved. I think Paldea Evolved is a really strong set. Futuristically, I think it's a really good set. Has a lot to offer when it comes down to artwork, secret rares, or secret illustrator rares, or secret art rares, whatever we want to call them in English. They have some really good illustrator rares in them as well. So I think that there's some really good opportunity in Paldea Evolved. I really do like the set in general. I think it's a very strong set futuristically. The other set that I'm really being drawn to right now is Twilight Masquerade. I think Twilight Masquerade is a really decent set as well, along with Temporal Forces. I think the last two sets they've done really well. Temporal Forces has grown on me more and more. Originally, I wasn't into it as much. And to be honest with you, I'm still not fully into the ancient future Pokemon. I think it's a nice concept, but overall, if they were to get rid of it today, it really wouldn't bother me. It's kind of like Battle Styles. Keep it around for a couple sets and then move on to something better. And I think that that's where they're going to go as well. I don't know if we'll be seeing the Ancient Future carrying on much longer. Cool concept, really cool cards, artwork for a little bit there. But in my opinion, it's already run its course. So Temporal Forces definitely, I think, has the better of them. Definitely has some really nice cards. The nice chases inside of that set. You know, once again, getting chase in a set can really have some good value. Same thing with Twilight Masquerade. You got a good chase in it. So really has some really good cards, some really good opportunities in it with that like Eevee card inside of it, that Greninja card, all of which are very, very strong cards in that set. And I think will futuristically continue to be strong cards. So it's kind of between those three. Personally, I'm more on still Paldea Evolved. I like the artwork in there. And I think the overall opportunities in that are still really good. Followed heavily by, you know, probably split half and half between Twilight Masquerade and Temporal Forces currently. Paradox Rift has its value too. I definitely like the Roaring Moon. I definitely do like the Iron Valiant, both of which are really, really good secret illustrator rares as well. So they all have something, but I've been really focusing on Paldea Evolved. I'm just going to be 100% honest. I think that set right now is still the one that resonates the best with me. currently in the Pokemon, or currently in the Scarlet and Violet, but we got an evolution set coming. Evolutions are my thing, so that might be a complete shift. And if you ask me in 6 months, I'm going to say the Evolutions 2.0 set, or Evolving Skies 2.0 set. So definitely could change really quickly. We're still midway into the Scarlet and Violet era. Where we are in another 6 months is really going to be interesting. And it's hard to believe, but I'm sure Mason's probably sitting there cringing, but we're probably going to get some news here in the near future about Gen 10. That's right, guys. We're already coming up into the last year of Scarlet and Violet here in March. So we are probably going to be getting some information on Gen 10. Hard to believe. This era is already flying by. It's been another year and a half. We were hearing about Gen 9 stuff in the last, what was it, not even before, it was like a year and 3 months. And they were already talking about Gen 9 stuff. So we could be seeing Gen 10 stuff coming up. It's really, really interesting how quickly time flies and how soon we might be coming up on the next era of the Pokemon TCG. So time flies. Time flies when you're having fun in this hobby, that's for sure. So be kind of cool to see what they come out with next. What's going to be our next 3 starters and what direction the next, what do I want to say, an era of Pokemon is going to go. Mason cringed when I told him Paldea Evolve came out a year. I know. I was just talking to my wife about that because she asked why. She asked me because I had 2 cases of Paldea Evolve that I was moving to my long-term storage, and she's just like, "Well, no, don't you normally hold on to that down there in case I want to sell it? I always keep it around next to me." I'm like, "Nope, it's over a year old." I said, "I got 2 cases left. I'm gonna go put these in the long-term storage," and she's just like, "It's already over a year old?" It's like, yeah, no, it's already, this set is over a year already. It's crazy. A year and 3 months now, because I believe that came out in March, or no, that one came out in May. So May of 2023. 2024 is disappearing, guys. Crazy. We're already coming down to the last 6 month stretch. It's fun. So, guys, got any more questions? Any more discussion? Oh, here we go. You think Obsidian Flames will hold up? I don't think Obsidian Flames has enough of a chase. It's going to be another Darkness Ablaze. Personally, I think it'll have value. It's going to have a Charizard set. That SIR Charizard's fairly nice. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a decent one. I think the Paldean Fates is a better one. I think the artwork is better of the Paldean Fates. The problem is that a lot of these are still kind of victims of no reprints. The fact that we aren't getting reprints on these sets, if you got one reprint of Obsidian Flame, it would kill it. Right now, it's what? It's $113 right now. So you're at $113. So you're $113. It really hasn't moved much in value recently. It's kind of bounced around between 100. So I'm looking at the last 6 months. I mean, we were up to, we're around 110 at one point. Now we're at 113. So, I mean, there isn't a lot of change from 6 months. And then if we go year to year, we're actually down from the release point. It was 110. We're about equal to that. So realistically, there's a lot of things right there. I just don't know. To me, it's just interesting to me that I just don't feel that that's going to be a strong enough SIR, plus the pull rate on it is too easy, personally. I think that it's an easy pull rate. We've got 3 of them now. We've pulled. The gold's really easy to pull. I've got 4 of those. The full art's actually been the more difficult one for me to pull. I still haven't pulled the full art myself. So that's really interesting that the full art is the more difficult out of all of them, that's for sure. But it could be just me, too. It could be a regional thing where there's not as many of them here, but there's a lot of, who knows. It's just weird how the pull rates work. So yeah, I don't know if Obsidian Flame will hold up. If it doesn't get a reprint, it'll hold up. If it does not get a reprint, I think it will hold well. If it gets a reprint, I think it's going to fall really hard. The hope for the better. How many sets do you think we have left in this era? So each era usually gets 12. Typically, right? It's usually 12 sets per era. So what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're at 6, so we're halfway there. We'll still get we'll get EV 2.0 and probably Team Rocket this year, and then next year we'll probably get the Dragon set and then 3 other sets yet. So in the timeline of things, right now, we are the equivalent of Chilling Reign in Sword and Shield. So, yeah. So usually it's about 12. You usually get... So typically you get 4 main sets per year, and then you get 1 holiday set for sure per year, and then you usually get 1 specialty set every other year. So, Pokemon 151 was last year, and then we got Crown Zenith last year. Now this year we're going to get Shrouded Fable right now, so that's this year's. And we got Paldean Fates right at the beginning of the year, so we're going to get 2 this year. Yeah, it can get really goofy. Silver and Hollows, thank you so much for joining. Glad to see you here this evening. Do you think they will mass print English 151 like Crown Zenith and Japanese 151? Very good chance. Personally, I think there's a huge chance that that may happen. And I definitely think that there's a good chance that we will see another reprint of the English 151. It's a very popular set. It's probably the strongest driving point right now in Scarlet and Violet. Pokemon knows that, and that could be part of the reasons why we're not seeing reprints. They may be focusing on 151. The other one that we might still see a reprint as well is going to be Paldean Fates. I could definitely see Paldean Fates getting a reprint, just like we saw with Hidden Fates, just like we saw with Shining Fates. They love reprinting those baby shiny sets, and they will reprint them again. I'm sure of that. So once again, another set I'm really not diving into because I think there's plenty of time when it comes down to that. iFOMO, the SIR Charizard Hollow, or the SIR Charizard hold a high premium because of the 1 in 4 chance of a PSA 10. We need reprints, Mason. Yeah. It's conflicting because I want reprints for better card quality, but I don't want them to crash. I know. That's the catch is that we really did. So even Paldea Evolved has that Magikarp, and the Magikarp is so poorly printed that there aren't a lot of PSA 10s. So in some ways, I hope that they don't reprint Paldea Evolved, because the value of that Magikarp in good quality is going to hold a premium and going to have a value to it. While if they do a reprint and do a better quality, it's going to flood that PSA 10 market out of that Magikarp. The pricing's going to fall. The whole value of all the sets going to fall just because there's so much more availability and the quality could be better. And that's going to be a big factor on those particular ones too when it comes down to the future on those. So definitely some things to be considering on that as well when it comes down to, how these reprints go. Some ways, I really do want reprints. I think that there's some really good opportunities for some reprints for some better quality. But on the other hand, I really don't want reprints because Pokemon tends to go overboard on reprints sometimes and really crash the market on even some of the good cards that had some good chase and some good value to them. Once again, though, you can't always look at it as value, but players aren't really using those sets as well. So that's another factor, too. Playability of those playability of those particular sets died extremely quickly, so there really isn't anything that's overly playable in there currently. Even Obsidian Flame had a really good chase with the Charizard deck, but even the Charizard deck is starting to lose favorability a little bit. Still see a lot of people using it, but it's still not competitive as it was, 4 months ago. The Galactic, I totally agree, iFOMO. It's tough. It's really tough. Daniel, thank you so much for joining. Which set is coming out with the evolutions? They don't have the English version of it out there, I don't believe. I haven't heard any announcements on it. But they do have, I believe they just released the name for the Japanese version of it. They do have the Japanese version of it, but I don't remember. Here we go. Let me see if I can look it up, because maybe somebody else knows in the chat. I'm not 100% sure. EV Heroes 2.0. I was hoping maybe someone... I thought it was on Poke Beach, but I'm not 100% sure. EV Heroes 2 is... Evolving Skies EV Heroes 2.0 is what everybody's calling it, but... I was looking for Poke Beach, but I don't see it in Poke Beach either. So I'm not 100% sure what they're going to call it. Okay, Terra Festival. Maybe I should just look at the iPhone's comment. Terra Festival. Let's see. I'll put it in. So, Terra Festival. Pokemon set. All right. Terrestrial, Terastal Festival will feature the evolutions. Yep, and it'll be released in December. I knew it was coming up in December, but so yes, it's Terrestrial Festival. Here, I'll put it in here. So you were close, iPhone. You're right there. Yeah, it's I'll put it in here just so I make sure. There you go. That's the name of it. That's out there. So that's that's going to be released in December, and that is going to be the Evolving Skies 2.0. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why are they showing 9? They got a new... no, that's Eevee. So that's Terrestrialized Eevee. So, yeah. So that's what we're looking at. So you're looking at the December release for that particular set. Nope. Nope, nobody's going to be able to pronounce that. It's going to be like half the other sets right now. Nobody can pronounce half of them. Oh, you're very welcome, Galactic. I try to answer everybody's question that comes in here. If the lives get too crazy, sometimes I got to skip over some of them, especially if they're repeats. But I do try and answer everybody's question that I can, within reason. Is it temporal forces or temporal forces? That's a fun one. But yeah. So, like I said, thank you everybody for joining. Like I said, greatly appreciated for everybody that's joined us here this evening. As always, I always try and cut it off about 10 o'clock so I can spend time with my wife here for the evening. She's done with her meeting. So, overall, thank you everybody that's joined in. If you guys got any last questions, I'm more than willing to jump in. Not playing this game. I'm not doing it. You can't make me play this. Yeah. It's just funny to me that it really can be a fight over what's what. But overall, you know, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see when that set comes, a Team Rocket set. There's a lot of stuff coming, and I think there's a lot of people right now holding money. Shrouded Fable, definitely not a number one, get on top of it type of thing right now, in my opinion. I think that there's plenty of time for that. I think there's when's the next set being released? Is the one in December the next one? There should be one more coming up here, isn't there? Ooh, what'd I do? Because there's Twilight Masquerade. There should be one more in there. If that one's in December. Oh, Stellar Crown. That's what I was forgetting. I knew that's the one I was trying to remember the name of it. So Stellar Crown is coming out too. That's getting released September 13th. So we don't know when those cards are going to be released in English. Well, it sounds like... So maybe I'm mistaken, but in December, we'll get the Terrestrial Festival will be in English. If I remember right. Yeah, it's actually December, Nav Station. It's the Terrestrial Festival has actually been announced. That's the one that's announced. So that's going to be our fourth set for the year. And that's going to be EV 2.0. EV Heroes 2.0. So thank you so much for joining in, Nav Station. Sorry we're about to kick her off. But yeah, that's we should be seeing that in the English. Will be the Terrestrial Festival. Will be the English version, I believe. I could be wrong on that. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that that's coming out in... that will be coming out in December here in English, it says. So there you go. There you have it. So, other than that, guys, thank you, everybody. Once again, really, really excited for coming up here. Another week and a half here. We'll be down in North Carolina. So, once again, anybody that's here that hasn't seen it, hadn't seen me announce at the beginning, make sure you guys check out Discord. I'm going to be sure that I kind of keep up to date on Discord for where I'm going to be during that. So if you guys would like to hang out, check out, just come out and chat and have a talk. That'd be great. I'm also going to be cruising around trying to find some people and enjoying the time meeting some people that I have never met before. So being up here in northern Wisconsin, it's not easy to get out to a lot of places sometimes, and it's going to be great to get down there. So I'm really excited for that one here, August 2nd, 3rd. So hopefully I get to meet a bunch of people, a lot of individuals that I've never met before. If you do want to hang out, make sure you hit me up on Discord. Just message me, or I'll make sure I kind of keep up my location on that, so that way you know where we're at and where I'm going to be. So if you do want to come hang out and chat, definitely look me up. Other than that, thank you guys, everybody that's joined in tonight. It's always appreciated to have you join in on the lives and come up with the good discussion points that you do. If you did miss the beginning of the live, make sure you check it out, where we were talking about success opportunities in the Pokemon TCG here in the current market. We did kind of go over that at the beginning and went through some of the areas that if you are new in the hobby, you should be looking at. Definitely some great opportunities still out there. You're just going to have to work for it a little bit harder than you had to in the past. So thank you, everybody, for joining once again. Greatly appreciated to everybody. Other than that, as always, we will be on Tuesday, 9 p.m. Central Time, just as always here. One last time, next Tuesday, the following Tuesday, I will not be back in time. We will be on the road. We won't get back until that Wednesday, so I will not be live on Tuesday. I might be on Wednesday if I do get home in time, or I might just put out a video in between there just to cover the time so you guys get something to watch of me. My smiling face on your screen I know is really important, so I'll make sure I'll get you something on there so you guys can enjoy my presence a little bit while we're traveling and spending time out on the road. Other than that, thank you everybody for joining, and as always, we'll see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.